Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to all of you. Today, Saturday, 29 July 2023 at 11 a.m., we are doing the third part of CA regulation, measure relating to safety and electrical supply regulation 2023. So today's topic is Discom and their responsibility. This is an important subject that we are covering, and this is a panel discussion and also open session with the participants. And this program is hosted by NFE, National Federation of Engineers for Electrical Safety. All of you must be knowing that the association, the society was born in the month of March. Very short period, I would say 4 months, we made a record members of over 500 plus, and we have done over 13 programs and 8 webinars. No other society in building segment has done this. So I want to congratulate all those members who are participating today. This is going to be the ear and the voice of the electrical community in India. So NFA is, all of you know, the vision and mission. We want to reduce the accidents and electrocution and fire due to short circuit. This thing can happen only if you start practicing safe electrical installation, thus contributing to the saving of lives and property and supporting sustainable development. Our mission is strive to achieve our vision through getting accredited of products. I'm again underlining getting accredited of products and personal certification, which shall focus on electrical safety by design, manufacturing, installation, and maintenance of electrical product, and installation by competent and qualified. Again, I underline installation of electrical equipment by competent and qualified manpower using quality resources, including product, process, and procedure. This is the vision and mission of ENFE. I would request all those who are participating today who are not member of NFE, please visit our website. It doesn't take more than 2 minutes for you to enroll and become a member. Everything is available online. Your certificate, we will get it in your mailbox. Your payment receipt you will be getting on your mailbox. Our general secretary and president letter, welcome letter, you will get it online. So absolutely everything online. In less than 2 minutes, you will be joining NFE. So please do visit our website. And just want to tell you the upcoming events of NFE. On 4th of August, we are doing National Electrical Code of India 2023 from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Those who are here participating today, if you are from Maharashtra, please do join. We have just completed Mumbai and we are in Pune. So on 18th of August, we'll be doing a program in Bhubaneswar. Again, one-day seminar, National Electrical Code of India. And we'll be doing in Mumbai a chapter installation proposed on September 8th, and Coimbatore and Gurgaon followed by. Entire program is supported by Bureau of Indian Standard. This is the initiative of Bureau of Indian Standard with NFE. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the panel discussion on accident in distribution and at consumer premises. Discom and their responsibility. Today we have a distinguished panel experts from all the sector, and they'll throw light on this critical subject. Myself, my name is Dominic, I'll be hosting it, and we have moderator Mr. Gopakumar, who will be asking questions to the panelists, and also he'll be taking up the questions from the participants. And I do not want to elaborate. His profile is a face of electrical. He's an evangelist today when it comes to electrical safety. And we have a very distinguished panelist today, Mr. Appavu, a retired Chief Electrical Inspector, Government of Tamil Nadu, and also the General Secretary of NFE. Welcome, sir. Welcome. We look forward for active participation today. And we have Mr. Murugesan, the retired Director General of Center Power Research Institute. He is from Bangalore with very vast experience over 40 years. I'm sure we can look forward from him the insight of his knowledge and wisdom to all the participants. Sir, welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. And we have another founder of NFE, Mr. Hemant Sali, a retired super engineer from Maharashtra, PWD Inspectorate Wing. And he's also familiar face in our programs, and he almost has 40 years of experience. What a experienced personnel today we have, and we are so happy to have him on board. Sir, welcome to you, sir.
Thank you.
We have another panelist from Kerala. He is based out of Calicut, Mr. Amrit Lal, an active member of NFE, and he has been the most active member in our WhatsApp group, answering many questions. So let's understand what Mr. Amrit Lal is here to talk about, throw more light on CA regulations today. And as you know, he's an active entrepreneur having his own business called Omni Electric Contracting Company in Kerala and Karnataka. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to cut shorted most of the introduction today, and let's move forward. And I'm handing over this platform to our moderator, Mr. Gopakumar. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dominic. Welcome all panelists as well as to the participants. Today we are going to start a little bit tough subject. In fact, tough in the sense when we invited a panelist from several Discoms as well as from the electrical inspectorate, because we wanted to have a lot of panelists, but most of them told no, this is a complicated subject. I don't want to interfere.
So that's why we all retired people on this, so that there is nobody. If somebody coming from CA, I don't know what happens to the job.
I will share the screen before I start the session. I hope my screen is visible. Just to give some idea what is going on. Annually, the approximately, if we look at the number of electrical accidents happening in India from electricity, due to electrocution, approximately the annual death is about 14 to 15,000 per year, and the death of animals actually nobody knows, must be much more. And if we look at the percentage of accidents, almost 50% of the accidents are within the consumer premise, 48% in the distribution of LV and up to 33 kV, and 2% in EHV. Now, if we look at this, the 48% distribution, then we get another figure, almost, you can see here, 440 volt, 26%, 230 volt, 29%, and 11 kV, the rest, and 2%, 33 kV. So basically, the distribution of low voltage power, especially 230, 440 volt, and 11 kV is the biggest point. But here, electrical engineers have the speciality. If we ask somebody a question, then he say, no, it is not my responsibility. The contractor will blame about the consultant will blame to contractor, then finally to the Discom, and then finally to the manufacturer, poor quality installation, poor quality product. We talk all these things, but we never try to do what we have to do properly. So with this, we just go to the first question. I'm showing on the screen what you are seeing is the regulation number 74. The earlier, I think it was 72, earthing. Especially earthing of support of overhead line up to 33 kV shall be provided under. The purpose of this particular regulation is to ensure that in case of a broken line, let's say public distribution, there are three types. So one is open the underground line, we cannot call, that is one way. The second is covered conductor overhead line, and the third one is overhead line bare conductor. So probably let us look at bare conductor overhead line. So in this particular case, if the conductor breaks and if it falls down, the protective device should operate and the supply has to be disconnected. For that purpose, this regulation is made. So all metal, basically what it says is there shall be a conductor running from the transformer up to the consumer premise. I just put it in the picture here. You have the transformer, you have the neutral, which is earthed, then you have the earthed conductor. Basically, in the distribution, there shall be an additional conductor, probably as a guarding if it crosses certain lines. And so that is what is explained here. Now, my question to Apau sir, to start with. Apau sir, have you seen this kind of a continuous earth conductor anywhere in an Discoms distribution?
Good morning, participants and panelists. Of course, there are a lot of such things missing in Discom distribution. I have seen, in fact, I have seen continuous earthing connector, but as per regulation 43, 10, I think.
Sir, we will come back to that next, sir.
Okay. So, no such continuous earth wire is existing in the Discom supply.
Okay. But basically,
is continuously run on the earth at several places.
Okay. Basically, if we make a conclusion, the simple conclusion is generally this kind of an earthing is not existing in most of the distribution. Am I correct, sir?
Well, I will add something into that. See, as per this now 2023 regulations, there is small change in regulation number 74 1E. Can you?
Yeah.
74 1E. For the poles of electrical lines below 650 volts, guarding arrangement with continuous earth wire or messenger wire in case of aerial bunch conductor shall be provided and shall be connected to earth at 3 equidistant points in every kilometer. So this is mandatory for LT line to provide guarding throughout the line. But in case of HT, if you see, there is no such condition. The continuous guarding is not mandated. Can you come to 74?
74.
Below.
66 and above. It is
74, I think.
Yeah.
74 F.
F is there. You can see here. Each stay wire shall be similarly earthed unless insulator of same voltage class as of the line has been placed at the height not less than 3 meters from the ground. And
this is per stay. But for HT, what they have mentioned, for only the road crossing and the public places, that has been made mandatory. Not all places like LT, what has been mentioned in like E. So it is not there.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Saliji. Now, let me take to the next regulation, which is basically the, one moment. The regulation number 43, as Apau sir was telling, 43, sub-regulation number 2. Neutral conductor shall also be earthed at one or more points along the distribution. So here, I have not put all the regulations, only the regulation which we are discussing, especially the regulation 43, sub-regulation 2. Neutral conductor shall also be earthed at one or more points along the distribution system or service line in addition to any connection with the earth which shall be at consumer premise. So this one, and I also would like to ask or focus more on the regulation number 18, earthed terminal on consumer premise. I'm sure all of you are aware of these particular regulations, and I have made a picture just to show what exactly it is. So here regulation 16, 17, 18 is explaining about earthed neutral conductor in the distribution. Here in the picture has to be read in such a way. There is a source, there is a distribution, and then the point of commencement of supply. So now we would like to listen to Murugesan sir. What is your opinion on the Discom following the regulation, these regulations specific and the other regulation in general?
Sir, in fact, sir, it is very sad affair that many things are not even known by the young people, like the distribution engineers or the related staff like that. I don't think they may be even aware of the particular things. So it is a very sad affair that is not done properly, and no supervision or no records or something like that. Only to my knowledge is going on. So it needs that distribution companies need to. In fact, they don't even. In fact, I am associated with a few distribution companies. Though the regulation says that appointment of safety officers, that training, all such things, but the reality is that it is given least importance, and we are all striving very hard to say that there's what do you call the regulations. Even they are not even aware, sir. For your kind information, even assistant engineer, they do not know there is a safety regulation available under CEA. Even they do not know their relationship of CEA directions to their operations. They don't think that it's a binding, and that absolutely link is missing. So it is a very sad affair. Very sad affair.
I fully agree to you, sir, because my experience also shows most of the engineers working in Discom, their knowledge about the regulations are very poor. So
not even aware, sir. They are not even aware there is a regulation, CEA regulation, safety regulation, which is binding. They even not know that what is CEA. That where do you explain?
So this is the state of the sorry situation.
In fact, I'm struggling, sir. I'm struggling with some Discoms. I don't like to disclose it. I'm working with many Discoms, and I told that, sir, first of all, the knowledge is not there. They even not aware that what is to be done for basic safety regulations. So, in fact, I am going to take a series of training to utility people. So this is a sad affair, sir. They are not even, if you ask what is PEN, many people do not know. What is TNCS?
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. In the
Gopaji, I just want to add a few things on this issue. See, for protective multiple earthing, it is very important in TNCS or TNS systems. This is not happening. Previously, actually, when in respect of overhead lines, the aluminum conductor, neutral conductor was done on the aluminum bobbin. So that used to be get earth at every pole. But now in case of underground cable system, the neutral conductor is not getting earth at every feeder pillar. So neutral almost remains floating because the neutral earthing at the distribution transformer center is very, very poor and very weak. I have seen even the 8 gauge wire earthing is done for 63 kVA transformer for earthing. So these things happen. And again, one more thing, what is given in 43.2, that the distributions company has to earth this neutral conductor at the consumer's premises along with the earthing of the consumer. So that is also mandatory. If you can take out this 43.2 regulation, 43.2.
This is the
which shall be at consumers' premises. So apart from the protective multiple earthing along the line of distribution, this is the last point where the distribution company has to earth is neutral.
So basically, this earthing at the distribution, and that is every kilometer.
Yes, that is not happening. That is not happening.
Has to be done. This is not happening, and now to Mr. Amritlal. Amritlal, I have sorry, we have the next question to you. What is your experience, and in how many places you have really seen this kind of a Discom providing earthed terminal to consumer premise. Earthed terminal in the sense through it's a TMCS network with PME. And finally, you see this particular link where I'm marking, very important. So over to you.
Yeah. Good morning to all. Very simple answer. Absolutely nowhere. That is the answer I can give. Absolutely nowhere.
Okay, so
because total LT system is run on TT, and TT also we cannot say it is TT, as Charlie sir has told, it is unknowingly getting earthed at some places. If it is proper TT, then we can try to cover it with RCDs and other things and protect the consumer. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for the information. So we have 3 answers at the moment. So the picture shows the regulation 1718 and some of the requirements of regulation 74 43(2). So the answers are majority of the Discoms engineers are not aware of even CEA. Who is CEA and what is this regulation? That itself is unknown. This is point number 1, very serious. And number 2, even if they are aware, probably they don't know what is written in the regulation. So they know who is CEA and they don't know what is written in the regulation. Number 3, even if they are aware, nobody or very rarely these regulations which is shown in the picture are followed. Now, all of you know that in case of any trouble in the consumer premise, this is going to see that lot of problems. Appavu sir, now over to you, Appavu sir. What are the implications at the consumer premise?
Yes. Actually, Mr. Gopa, the purpose of regulation 43(2), that is protective multiple earthing, 4310, 43 sub-regulation 10. As you said, supplier has to provide and he has to test it. This is the only provision specifically allocated to the supplier. The integrity, the purpose is neutral conductor shall be earthed as per regulation 43(2). Regulation 43 sub-rule 2.
Yeah.
Sub-regulation 2. It is intended to provide multiple neutral earthing and to maintain its integrity, including the supplier's earthing at the distribution transformer. Another thing, regulation 18 that provides regulation 18.
You can talk.
Yes, yes. Regulation 18, they have to provide a terminal, earthed neutral terminal. That for which Amritla answer. But in my opinion, the earthed neutral terminal is nothing but they are not running any more earthed conductor. The neutral itself is an earthed conductor. So once it is provided a multiple earth connection along its route and additional earth electrode to the consumer premises as per regulation 18, then the combined earth resistance of the supplier's distribution network will be drastically reduced. Individually, a pole earthing may yield 50 or 60 ohms, but there are hundreds of poles and hundreds of consumers. So effectively, the combined earth resistance will be very minimal if these 2 regulations alone are complied with by the supplier. But the thing is, one more danger involved in it is, this is the only regulation which affords protection to the consumer against high or temporary over voltage. There could be some ST line to earth fault, or there could be some transformer ST winding to earth fault, or there could be some lightning arresters getting shattered and making earth fault. So whatever the earth fault which occurs between the line and conductor, the line and earth, that will be reflected at the consumer premises in the form of a touch voltage that can give shock or that can damage the consumer equipment in the form of a stress voltage. There are 2 types of voltages which can be transmitted from the supplier distribution network due to these 2 missing items. That is regulation 43(2) and regulation 18. So because of this, the consumers are suffering. They are damaging, they are getting their equipments damaged. Whenever there is a power outage, so most of the places, the consumer equipments are damaged. And one more thing, if the consumer connect their earthed terminal to the supplier's earthed terminal, then it will also become a danger. There will be a transferred potential in the form of touch voltage between the metal part of the consumer and the earth that can endanger the consumer's life also. This happened in many locations, and it is a must to safeguard the consumer premises. Consumer can
basically
safeguard his installation against overload, earth leakage, everything, but not for the supplier's institutions.
If we make a simple conclusion, since the Discom is not aware of these regulations and since they are not following the regulations, finally the consumer who is paying money and buying electricity is at risk. The people, those who are in the consumer premise, are getting electrocuted because of the mistake which is done at the distribution. Equipment at consumer premise are burning because of the mistake which is done by the distribution company at the distribution. And mostly we can see a newspaper saying that the HT, the transformer breaker burned and all the consumer premise electrical items burned. So these are the problems which is going to come. Am I correct, sir?
Yes,
In
sir.
a simple,
It is 50%, you are right, sir. 50% I can say. It has to come down from the top level because the local.
we will come back to it. We will come back to it, sir. We will come back to it. So now, the simple conclusion for participants, the simple conclusion, which is let's say the first round of the discussion, is the regulations are made in order to ensure that the electricity distribution is made very strong, and it is safety. The safety is given prime importance, and not only at the distribution, at the consumer premise also safety is achieved by doing some extra jobs at the distribution by the Discom. But unfortunately, the Discoms, majority of the Discoms, I would not say all the Discoms, majority of the Discoms. So why I am using the word majority of the Discom is, for example, in Delhi, the Discom's transformer failure ratio is, let's say, 0.8%, which belongs to a private company. Whereas if you look at in a state government, the Discom, which belongs to the government, it's a private company, but still belongs to the government, the transformer failure is probably 8%. So it's not, this statement is not applicable for all the Discoms. Of course, majority of the Discoms, these provisions are not given. As a result, the consumers are at risk. So now I go to the second part of this particular presentation. All of us know that the Electricity Act, which is shown on the screen, the electricity regulations, all are made to ensure that the consumers or the electricity is used safely. I am just going to one of the regulation, let us say regulation 146. The Act, the Electricity Act 146, offenses and penalties. So according to this provisions of punishment, now Murugesan sir, one simple question. Sir, does these the Discoms, are they aware that there is a provision for punishment existing in the Electricity Act? Whether it is implemented or not is a next question, but at the moment, are they aware of it? Over to you, Murugesan sir.
He's on mute.
Yeah. Yes, sir. To some extent, they know that the consequences are that these are all penal offenses. So they know, they are aware of, to some extent they are aware. But what happens, sir, as assistant engineer or assistant executive engineer, he will be directly charged with this kind of offenses. But he is helpless in terms of the support, in terms of provision of equipment, tools, system like that. Because he is distorted from the core area of maintaining the line like that. So one side is he is handicapped, other side is he is exposed to the penal actions. Yes, some isolated incidents, yes, some engineers are charged or something like that. But majority of the issues, what happened is that they try to hush it up. So they really, initially they go around things like that, but finally the actions are not taken. So that way there is a kind of complacency that nothing is going to happen, or like that only going on. So that way we need to, one side is that the engineers should be, we should not be deviated. I worked in electricity board during my earlier initial career, way back in 79, 80, like that. So we used to go this distribution substation or transformer maintenance, that is something like quarterly maintenance, yearly, half-yearly maintenance, yearly maintenance. There are records we used to write, oil sampling. There's so many things we used to take. Now that is all missing. They're all missing. So one side is that that engineer time is extended to something else. So he is working about collection, that connection, like that is deviated from the core issue of maintaining a transmission system.
Got it, sir. Basically, the engineer is not doing engineer's job. He is doing something else. And the management is not providing any PPEs to the engineer or to the junior officers or to the junior level people, those who are doing the maintenance.
Sir, basic instruments are not there, sir. Basic instruments. PPE is ruled out. VPE is very high. PPE is, I have not seen PPE in any of the things here. So.
I will come back to you with the question. Next question. Saliji, what is your opinion?
Yeah, I have seen that the maintenance material, which is very much required for the maintenance of lines, that is also not available with the section offices and subdivisions. So this is also one of the major reasons. Engineers tell us, sir, we don't have material to do this rectifications and all that. So that is also happening.
So that means basically the engineers are not equipped with the proper PPEs in most of the districts.
Of course, they have to have support with their seniors. The seniors should take all these cares, but it's not being taken.
So basically there are three issues now. One is majority of the officers doesn't know what is the regulation and what is written in the regulation. Number two, they don't follow the regulation. Number three, they are not, even though the engineer wanted to follow something, he is not provided with proper PPEs by the management. So now one question to Apau sir, a very simple question. Now imagine the whole Discom is not obeying or not following the regulation, the whole Discom. Is it the problem of the engineer or the problem of management? You are on mute, sir. The question is it the management's problem or management's inefficiency, let us call management's inefficiency, or it is the problem of the engineers? Over to you.
Yes, it's a second question. Actually, the field people, they are becoming scapegoat. I can directly say they are becoming scapegoat. They have to be empowered. They know when they are moved to the substation, they become a smart officer. When they are moved to the O&M, they become the most neglected, most rejected officer by the public. It's not the officer, it's the environment which makes the officer to work smart. I think the management doesn't afford enough provision to the O&M people especially. They can invest several lakhs of rupees through the fund from JICA, whatever the thing, from international, they're getting fund. They procure transformers, erect lines, but they don't procure even a multimeter for the section office. I have seen one section officer has only one multimeter that has to be utilized by all his foremen and all his 60 to 70 distribution transformers, lakhs of several tens, thousands of consumers. It's a sorry fact of the distribution engineers. Unless we empower, it is not, there's no point in, they know, they are engineers, they know they're not capable of doing it because of the what do you call, the management approach. It should be a top-down approach. The management should be blamed for this type of occurrence in our country.
So basically, for the participants, the information of the participants, today we are discussing a serious subject, which is about the Discom. Are they doing their responsibility properly, and are they following the regulations properly? Just to find out whether they are supplying electricity, but as consumer we are paying. We are not getting free electricity. We are paying for it. And now the question is, are they supplying electricity at a safe way? Then the answer is there are multiple issues. The issues are much bigger than what we expect. First of all, they are not aware of who is CEA. They are not aware of the regulations. They are not aware of what is written in the regulation. Then they are not following the regulation. Number three is majority of the cases, there is no PPE or there is not even a multimeter with the electricity Discom. This shows a very, very sorry situation of the electricity distribution in India. As I said, it is not applicable to all the Discoms, but majority of the Discoms. Majority in the sense probably almost 99%, except maybe few of the private Discoms. Now, in this case, there is a provision of punishment by the government. Now, I have a question. Just a moment. I will unshare the screen and come back to you. Now, the question is, of course, if there is a provision to penalize, and who has to be penalized? Because it is not the responsibility of the fellow engineer. Now, you look at the regulation number 149, offenses by companies. So offenses by companies in the sense, if the engineer doesn't know about the regulation and if he doesn't follow and the whole Discom doesn't follow and there is no protective gears given by the management, of course, it's not a problem of the engineer. It's a problem of the management or inefficiency of the management. Let me call it as in this way. Now, offenses by companies, regulation number 149 or section 149 of the, not regulation, sorry, the Electricity Act. It shows, it says who is responsible in case if the company is making an offense. Now, the company means a body, corporate, and includes a firm or other associations of individuals, and director in relation to a firm means partner in the firm. That means the top management. So in case if the offense is made by a company, the top management is responsible. Now, one question, the first question to Mr. Amritlal. Mr. Amritlal, how do you see this regulation? Only this regulation, if this is really applied in practice, who will be the culprit or who has to go to or take the responsibility? Mr. Amrit?
Yeah, I'm here. The question is very valid, but I would take one more point of view on this, because when you commit a crime, definitely the crime committed by the person has to be put on the law. But the problem again here is who is going to enforce the law. We are not very sure, and
we will come back to that next.
That point. Okay. Now
let us look at only at this particular regulation.
Yeah.
Particular act, section 149.
Yes, then it has to be the top management, because they are the person who are employing the employee, and they have to spend according to the upkeep of their system, and also they have to see the human safety and other things. I mean, the plant and machineries also.
Yes, thank you. So basically, it is the management.
Well,
sir, what is your opinion on this case, sir?
Yeah. Can I add a few things?
Saliji, please.
See, if you see a proviso below,
we will come back to it later. Next. Okay. Let us look only at this section. 151.
This section only, in this section only, there is one escape for the management. Provide that nothing contained in this subsection shall render any such person liable to any punishment if he proves that. See, it is there in the same section.
Okay, the Electricity
146.
Act. I don't have the act at the moment.
So it was there. It was there in your earlier slide.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. In the earlier slide here.
Yeah, this one. 146. 146.
46. 1 or 2.
The
you come down below. Come down a little bit. No.
I didn't show the second para.
146. 146.
Correct, Saliji. I didn't put the second para in the presentation.
Yeah, it was there in your early slide.
So which one is notwithstanding anything conveyed an offense under this?
Okay, okay.
It's proved that offense has been committed with the consent.
Yeah, now let us analyze only.
Here it was there. You go up.
No, this is only talking penalties.
No. In 146.
No, let us talk only this section 149. If
140, sorry, 149. 149. See, if you see here, provide that nothing contained in this subsection shall render any such person liable to any punishment if he proves that the offense was committed without his knowledge or that he had exercised all due diligence. No, upper para. He had exercised all due diligence to prevent the commission of such offense. So here this is the escape to the top management. Top management may tell the person who is working at the lower levels had not communicated me what are his requirements. So when any case stands in the court of law, I have witnessed so many cases, and such escapes really prevent to take any action against such management. He may tell that the lower person had not informed me that he is not having that material. So what engineers lack, they very much lack in making communications, what they require, put it on paper and put it as a record. So that never happens. Engineer will not tell that since I am not having that material, the accident might take place. And if in that case, if the management doesn't take any action, then here management will be directly liable. Otherwise, they will tell I was not informed about these shortages and all that.
Okay, so basically, if we look at last 6-7 months, there were several accidents and several cases. The Discoms junior officers or junior engineers were booked for those offences. Now, if the police or if some authority tried to take action against the management will tell that this junior officer didn't told me that. He don't have a multimeter and he don't have a PPE. As a result, I am not responsible. Is it the case, Saliji?
Yes. This may. But he has to keep it on paper that he should demand to his higher officers that he is needed so many things, PPEs, and even the maintenance material also. And he was not having that. So in that case, then the top management will not be. There won't be action on top management. Okay,
so basically you are saying that instead of top
excuse me, one point on that. Suppose on the similar note, let's say an accountant is not being penalized for IT frauds. It is the management which is being caught. I think we can take that example.
There is one, actually next there is one more abatement, that is 150, I think. So that also we can consider.
Yeah. Now, for example, let us concentrate on this particular point, offences by companies. Murugesan sir, what is your opinion on this particular subject, sir? The debate which we had just now.
Yes, sir. In fact, sir, if we take a similar comparison with other companies, say, I take example of Tata Power. Sir, it is not that that engineer has to ask that I need a multimeter or insulation tester, these things like that. That management is responsible. Say, suppose a section officer is maintaining lines and transformer and circuit breakers like that. So what are the equipment minimum tools necessary for the section officer to maintain the line? Everybody knows. As a management cannot say that, only he has to ask. He, as an engineer, he may know that, but the management is supposed to give these are all the equipment needed for maintaining the line, because it is managed by the technocrats, whether it is an executive engineer, superintending engineer, a chief engineer. They know what is minimum tools necessary for running a section office or a section. So in my opinion, it is a responsibility of the management. If you take an example of Tata Power, We say that, sir, there is a stream of sections, people to maintain and only for safety issues. They have taken over the Orissa Discom. The first task is to train these 12,000 people only on safety aspect. You see now dramatically within 1 or 1.5 years, our taken over, the accidents have come down and the system improved.
Basically, if the management decides, then the system works. It is not like the junior officer decide and the management work on that.
No,
So
it is safety is a management first task. Safety is management first task. If you go anywhere in a Tata power plant or anywhere, you can see that the safety is starting from the gate itself. If you are not putting your safety belt on your car will not be allowed to go inside. And the substation, if you venture out without helmet and PPE, they will not allow. And everything is displayed. Okay, for engineers so much, for visitor also they have some set of some 5-6 sets for visitor who comes inside, go out. So that is a management which say that yes, it is my responsibility. No accident takes place, no loss of life takes place.
thank
So
you.
can
Thank
see that. Absolutely, sir, absolutely. So we need to
so
proper allocation, sir. I have not seen proper allocation of fund and maintaining these things are not happening. It is isolated.
basically, it's a very, very sorry situation. Now, the next question to oppose.
I would like to add.
Let me make the question correct. Now, we are talking about mostly about distribution of the final electricity to the final consumer. Sir, does the same situation exist in the generating station and substations of the Discom, sir?
Sir, first of all, I would like to add one important point. We are terming as per section 149, we are treating licenses, let's say electricity board as companies. The company name itself is defined under the Act as registered under Companies Act 1956. I think this is a specific provision in which the company people can be punished. I don't know whether this will apply because whatever the supplier are given an enormous power, they can refuse supply, they can affect supply. Also, I don't think that also they can institute prosecution. They are on par with the electrical inspectors and government to initiate any case.
I think it is no more applicable now because most of the Discoms are now registered companies, but the ownership of the company is with the government. That is a different case. Otherwise, all these Discoms are now private, registered as private companies. Only thing is the ownership is with the government, so they have to be treated as a company only. Yes, I think there were several statements with the central government. Mostly, I think almost 100% are now companies.
Okay.
So, sir, the question is the generating station and substation, will they keep in the same way of mess or they make it better?
So they are making advanced implementation in generating station substations because there should not be any power outage. That's a priority. Compared to the safety, power outage is a most critical factor. Otherwise, they will lose their business. So whatever the thing, maintenance aspects or the new gadgets coming into picture, that will be readily used. That's a compulsion for them to provide such technology into the substation. That's not related to the safety.
Yes, basically the generating station and substation of the Discom are kept better, and the distribution, final distribution is kept as poor as possible. So finally, they are not bothered. They are only bothered about their revenue and their continuity of the supply. They are not bothered about the safety of public, basically, or safety of their consumer premise. Under this condition, now I go to the section 151 of the offenses and penalties of the Electricity Act. So here, if we look at the first paragraph, it says the appropriate government or the Discom or the chief electrical inspector or the electrical inspector, they have to take action if they find any non-conformities of the act or the regulation. Saliji, one question to you. Does the, if we look at non-conformities or the violations, we have to just go out to the main road and look left, right, and center and top. Then we will see violations almost everywhere. So that means everybody know that the Discoms are violating. How many cases in India for such violations are being taken by the electrical inspectorate, by the state inspectors? Any idea on that, sir?
Well, as per my knowledge, unless the accident happens, nothing is taken care of. Only in case of accidents, the accident is investigated and the concerned person is made liable for that. But if you see any defect or any open feeder box on the road, for that legal action, no action is taken in the court of law. Only notice they might serve to the company that they should make proper arrangement, and it is up to the company to do the needful in that case. But case as a criminal case or something like that, it doesn't of course come under criminal case, but even the civil also, the case are not put in that regard.
Probably the
If a
reason
common person looks any defective installation or any danger of any electrical line or distribution system, he has to go to the electrical inspector or the concerned supply company and tell them that this thing is dangerous and they should take care of that. Because it is considered that a common person is not have a technical knowledge. He might not be able to adjust whether it is really a technical defect causing any accident or loss of life. So common person is not that much aware. So he should go to the technical expert, and the technical expert will judge whether it is really dangerous or not, and then he will do the needful action. But common person doesn't have any approach to the court of law.
Correct. As per the rule, the common person doesn't have any approach to the court as per the first session. But so basically, even if the violations, I think to understand a violation, even a child can understand the violation. Open distribution boards are quite common in our roadside, especially on the highways. So now to Mr. Amrit Lal. Mr. Amrit, what is your opinion on this particular, the first paragraph?
Yeah, this was what I was saying. Yeah.
Yes, please.
I was talking about I very rarely see any action taken on the distribution companies by the government officials. The government officials in the sense, the electrical inspectorate. And just adding to the few points earlier we discussed, even one of the RTA, I got a very funny answer saying that regulation 2010, with this RTA is put upon 2013. I received an answer saying that this particular regulation is not taken care by us. This was given by the power department, one of the employee of the power department. Okay. Anyway, so that is the state of affairs even in Kerala. So you can imagine what will be in other states. And I was just going through the electrical accidents tables in CA. You can get a table on electrical accidents. You can see generating stations, we have very minimum accidents. Almost 8 accidents are reported in 2021-22. That is in Maharashtra and Gujarat. Rest of the states, either it is not reported or it is not there. So the enforcement of law is very important. If you find a culprit, you have to be blindfolded and take action. That is not happening in our country. That is the saddest part.
Thank you, Mr. Amrit.
Yeah, Gopaji, one thing is that suppose if some person approaches electrical inspector, so there is procedure. Electrical inspector can issue an order to the concerned person that he should rectify this defect within a particular time limit period. And if it doesn't observe that, if it doesn't obey that, then the section 146 comes into the picture. So there are steps. Directly case cannot be lodged in court.
Oh, that means there is a process. First, the person who is going to get affected, he has to go to the electrical inspector and make an application and wait for 15 days so that the inspector will give a notice to the Discom, and you go and close the door of the distribution board, and the Discom will do it within 15 days. And in this 15 days, if somebody dies, there is nobody is responsible. Can I can I make it make a statement in this way? So
And
this is
one more thing I can add to Mr. Amrutlal. As he said, there are very less accidents in generating stations. If you see the percentage of the last year 21-22 declared by the CA, the percentage of accidents happened at generating station is 0.22. At transmission, it is 7.82, and at distribution, it is 76.62%. So maximum accidents happen in the distribution sector, and the substations 33/11 or 22/11, it comes under the distribution company's purview. So, and one more thing which we said regarding the generating stations, also, of course, many things are well equipped and properly designed and maintained also. But in case of substations, I have seen a lot of lapses happen. I have seen that the proper coordination of the relays is not happening. Proper CT ratio, particular required relay, that is
Sir,
not.
if we go to the technical part, it becomes another subject. Let us concentrate on the
Regulations.
section of the rule. Thank you. Thanks
No,
for
sir, one point I have to ask Sally, sir. See,
Yeah.
the electrical inspectorate is empowered with magistratal power. That is what I read in one of the sentences.
161.
Yeah, then you can immediately take action. Why people are waiting for that? I mean, I don't understand.
No, these powers are given under 161 to investigate for electrical accident. For
Only
that,
for
he
accidents.
he can summon the concerned person for taking statements, or he can seize any things which required from the site. That power here, that is quasi-judicial powers, so that he can, of course, exercise.
Apply only for accident. That is after committing the crime. Just like
can
police.
You open GOPA 161, please?
Sir, may I interrupt and ask another question? Imagine we have found a person, a citizen of India, found a line which is falling down or something happened, and he has asked the electrical inspector. He put an application to the electrical inspector, and the electrical inspector then notice to the Discom. And within this 10 days or within 3-4 days, if 2 animals of the citizen dies due to this particular mistake of the Discom, then what will happen? The electrical inspector will come to the site and he will say sorry to the person, saying that I'm sorry, I'm helpless. Your animals has to die, something like that. Or he can tell the Discom that you have to compensate.
See, actually, people don't know electrical inspector. They know the supply company. Instead of going to electrical inspector, they will go to supply company, and of course, supply company has to take care of the conductor which has snapped. So that usually happens. People don't go to the electrical inspector.
Probably the ideal situation is above in the location of every transformer and every junction box. There should be the name and the telephone number of the Discom's responsible person, as well as the next level and the electrical inspectorate responsible people. Their name and the telephone number has to be given. Am I correct? So that people can call and tell them, or WhatsApp complaint.
Correct. That is correct.
Very good.
Probably a good idea. Now, if we look at the provision which I have highlighted, the paragraph 2, it says the police can take action. And now there is under section 153, the section 153 is not talking about section 146. Section 143 is talking only about the Electricity Act section 140 to 145 and then 150. So section 153, under section 153, the 146 is exempted. That means if the safety is violated, the police can take action. Appav sir, a question to you. Does this provision is applied anywhere in the country? That means instead of going to the Discom or to the electrical inspector, if the public goes to the police and asks them to take action, will they take action against the Discom? Is the simple question. Appav sir, I hope you are probably on mute.
Sir, these are all the issues that probably comes after the occurrence of accidents. For example, in the Act itself, under Section 161, notice of accidents is given. See, unlike other road accidents and other accidents, here, what is the difference in the Electricity Act is they can take time. The inspectors can be informed within 48 hours. Some time frame is there. It is not like other accidents. Unless they go in road accidents, they go and clear the case, the body will not be removed. Not in the case of electrical accidents. So there's a difference. The thing is, there need not be any advance proactive action. Is not arising here because the act is like that and the setup is also like that. So what the people are doing is they are not actually aware of the electrical inspectors. They straight away go to the police and give a complaint, and police itself takes action on certain issues. Whether it is a lift or electrocution, they file FIR and trace the concerned official. They take support of the document from the concerned officials, and as a supportive document, they strengthen their case under FIR. So this is the thing happening in our country, but it is for the major accidents after the occurrence of accident.
Okay, no, sir, can we tell in that way? Because if we look at the sentence, also take cognizance of an offense punishable under this act. What is an offense? Offense means after the death is an offense, or making a non-compatible or non-compliant installation is an offense. I would say making a non-compliant installation is an offense.
Yes. Any contravention with the act or provisions are made there under like rules and regulation is an offense. So that is quite well defined in 146.
Yes. So offense is a offense anyway. The violation of the regulations is an offense, and
Yes.
it is punishable. That is what is written. It is so basically, if somebody wanted to take action against Discom, then the provisions are already there very well in the system. But the question is, since the Discom is owned by the government, the police is owned by the government or under the government, and the electrical inspectorate is also under the government, then the question is, who is responsible for the life of people? Maybe conclude in that way. Murugesan sir, what is your opinion, sir?
Yes, sir. Sir, one is that now, if we see people see the punishment visible, then there will be a kind of responsibility will go down. Now, I have not seen anybody, punished, whether it assistant engineer or higher level. I have not seen the visibility of punishing the people. So some of the things are very vague. Actually, any lawyer see this statement, it is only to protect the people, like that is written. So this also maybe that we should take up like a Factory Act or something like that, where it is explicitly available. We should also, like what you are doing throughout India, we need to frame the punishable sections very explicitly, make it things that so that easily punishable. So we need not know that says the court cannot take it. Then where we can go? So these are all things we need to take up, and it should be visible. So this is not there. So people are just escaping. Hundreds of accidents are taking place. How many people are punished? So that is the basic foundation that we need to set right. Then make the management explicitly like Indian Carbide, where when accident took place, the CEO ran out of the country because the law says that he should be made a first an FIR a person. So like that, we need to, maybe that next assignment is that we need to work on how do we make very stringent to make it, and so that then of course parallelly we will work on things like training the people and making the provisions of the CEA like that it is available to generally to the government controlled utilities. Then provision of a budget, all such things. Then only it can, the really we can improve upon that.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Actually, Gopa, that going to the police, that is used more by the supply companies as per the section 135. That is in respect of theft of electricity. So the Discoms can directly lodge a case with the police in respect of theft of electricity.
Yes.
So that is useful for them.
Theft or damage or whatever. But if we clearly read it under section 153 is talking about the theft, damage and all those things, but it is not covering 146. Safety issues is not covering. So safety
Yes.
it is not the Discom's job, it is the public people's job.
Yeah.
So basically, if we look at the overall situation, the officers of the Discom doesn't know what is CEA and what is CEA regulation. Number one, which is a very serious subject. Number two, they don't follow. Majority of the Discoms doesn't follow. And here I would like to add one more point. We made a statement that the private Discoms are following the regulation properly. Absolutely no, because the private Discoms are not providing earthed terminal to consumer premise for low voltage. What they say is, my earthing is mine, your earthing is yours. So don't connect to mine. They are not allowing to make a proper TNCA system. So earthed terminal regulation 18, I would say the private Discoms are also violating. So they are also responsible for it. It is so in that case, almost 100% of the Discoms are violating the regulation. Number three, the officers of Discoms are not provided with any PPEs and facilities such as test instruments and so on, so that they can properly work in the distribution or in the line in a safe way. That is also missing. Then we also discussed about whether this is the responsibility of the engineer or the owners or the management of the company. Of course, it is the responsibility of the management. So most of the cases, the responsibilities are not taken care well by the management. As a result, the accidents are happening. Also, at the moment, the system of making a complaint by the public is also not very tight, or there are confusions. Of course, from NFE, what we can do is we can make a guide and we can make some kind of leaflets and brochures to tell people that if you wanted to protect your interests, say for example, since the regulations are violated, in case of any HT fault, as above are told, the LT consumers premise electrical items are getting burned, and it is creating fire and the electrocution plus burning of apparatus and the loss of cost, loss of economics. So basically, the Discom is responsible for the burning of electrical items in the consumer premise. Why don't the Discom pay it? So we have to actually, the Discom has to compensate it, but it is not happening. So basically, there are several loopholes at the moment in the system. So we will go through some of the question answers. I hope all of you are ready to make the questions. I will ask some of the questions. I will start from the last question onwards by Mr. Kiran Kanti Panda. So for the participants are requested to post the questions in Q&A, not in the chat box. So Mr. Kiran Kanti Panda, CEI electrical inspector periodically visit factories for obvious reasons. Why don't they inspect installations in the apartment, hotel, cinema halls, consumers periodically to monitor the safety status? Why are the concerned officials don't get punished? Thus, all these penal provisions, I think this is not a question, this is like a statement. It is. The next one, Mr. Subrata Kumar Bera, the case of distribution.
Well, Gopa, one minute, Gopa. The question was why they are not inspecting the low tension installation. That is his question. So in this regard, as per the regulations, the state has to declare the voltage, and as per up to that voltage, the Chartered Electrical Safety Engineer is supposed to carry out an inspection, and the owner of that installation has to give the self declaration regarding safety of his installation. So that is one reason there is very much confusion in actually interpreting these regulations. So inspection is mandatory. It is not exempted. Inspection has to be done. Periodical inspection is very, very important. That is a must. But it is not happening because of this confusion, because it is inspectorate being considered that it is up to the consumer to get his declare his installation by self certification. And consumers are not knowing that it is their responsibility to give such certifications. And if you go to there are no Chartered Safety Engineers available. That is another point. So how to resolve this is a big issue.
Thank you, Sariji. But in that case, I have a counter question, but to Apav sir. Apav sir, the notified voltages in most of the states are, let's say, for example, 11 kV and above. So in that case, the public distribution of 440 volt, who is responsible? Will the electrical inspector, are they responsible for the, even though the 440 volt public distribution is under the notified voltage, does it comes under the purview of the electrical inspectorate?
Sir, the notification, there cannot be a differential approach. Once they notify 11 kV or 650 volt or 33 kV, because in our country, the notification is the voltage classification is issued for different voltages in different states. In Tamil Nadu, it can be above 650. In Andhra, it can be above 33. And in Maharashtra, it varies from state to state. So what is the intent of the act is to get every consumer inspected, including the supplier. So once the notification is issued, suppose for example above 650, electrical inspector can inspect. Below 650, only competent electrical safety engineers can inspect, but it is not happening. In that case, if it is below 415 or 650, it has to be inspected, whoever the thing, whether it is a government or a supplier. Even government hospitals, government premises, government installations are being inspected by electrical inspectors. The thing is, once they notify the voltage, beyond that voltage, electrical inspectors will come because of the cadre structure. Below the notified voltage, the CESs will come. Ultimately,
that is true. That is for the consumer premise. My question is, at the distribution, low voltage distribution, will it comes under the purview of electrical inspectorate?
Previously,
majority of the deaths are also happening in the low voltage distribution overhead line.
The supply company is the owner, and as an owner, they have to give the self-declaration.
No, but if they are violating, will the electrical inspector can take action, Mr. Amrit?
Yes, of course, electrical inspector can take action.
Yeah, my point is, designated person is there for supply companies. They have to be in charge of actually this particular thing.
But
and the safety officer.
Of course, but they are not aware of the regulations. That is the point. And they don't have PP. And what are they going to do? And they will go to the consumer and smile and make come back. People are not interested on that. People are interested to protect their property and life.
Yeah, unless and until people, I mean, the government, state governments fix up the voltage level to 11 kV or so and employ the graduates for CESC, this problem is going to happen again. I mean, you don't have enough people to see the whole electrical lines.
The simple conclusion in that particular case is the state governments are not interested to implement chartered electrical safety engineer. As a result, until now, the section 6 of the safety regulation, earlier 5A, chartered electrical safety engineer is a failure. Let's conclude that it's a failure because no states started implementing it except one or two. There itself, there is only for the whole state 5 people Of course, 5 people managing millions of houses and going and testing will be a Herculean task. Impossible.
And
So-
of course, one more implementation of regulation 5.1 is also not happening. Electrical safety officer, that is which is required to be
Yes.
appointed by the supply companies, and it is his responsibility to check the installation whether it is safe or not, prepare repair of that and keep the record. So that is also not happening. Of course, that at least could have been monitored by the authority, I mean inspectorate wing.
Sir, Murugesan sir, what is your opinion on this, sir? You are taking a lot of trainings for Discoms. Are they
Yeah.
have designated officer?
No, sir. No way. So, as Mr. Sali sir mentioned that the section 5, safety officers, their role is very clearly mentioned that, they are supposed to see what is that input generating company, observe safety measures specified in these regulations. Not only that, they are supposed to take a periodic inspection, the installation, get them tested. But in reality, nobody is there, sir. Nobody is there. If that is the case, at least to some extent, some of the routine things will be. But if I may able to show the picture of the distribution transformers and the panels, which are all horrible in nature. So nobody is maintaining, and they don't the MCB trips. No, so they need to go and switch on. So what they do is they just simple thing is they bypass it, and finally the 11 kV line will trip, and the substation people have to take care of this. So there is no coordination. What is that protection and coordination? Everything is missing. So, sir, we are way beyond what is written in this safety manual and what is available in this sector. So,
Thank you.
sir, it is absolutely, we need to drive, sir. We need to visit all the distribution companies or the concerned authorities. We need to sensitize that. The provisions are available, but it's not implemented.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So basically, the simple conclusion which all of us can together make is, at the moment, people doesn't know, the engineers doesn't know what is regulation, what is written in the regulation, what has to be followed, and nobody is there to question. So they are only interested in selling the electricity and collecting the money in time. Other than that, there is no one interested. Also, there is one interesting comment from a participant. Unless we make Discoms accountable for the regulations, no big purpose is served by the regulation. Only then the interference by politicians will reduce and the system will set right by itself. So this is another issue, political issues. Anyway, let us not discuss about the political part of it. So
Sir, one more point, sir. Actually, this regulation tells about what kind of training to be imparted to assistant engineer or supporting engineers like that. Nowhere I have seen that, sir. Anybody is trained on even basic. It is mentioned about all the provisions of the Electricity Act and the safety regulation, the safety goggles, the various equipments. Section part 1, part 2, part 3 for many people are mentioned, but no utilities systematically impart for whether a assistant engineer or supporting staff or lineman. Nowhere it is happening. So in this training schedule, whether it is a fresh engineer or periodic engineer, periodic program, this one, nowhere it is mentioned. We have to make it compulsory that any engineer who is recruited or any junior level technician or anybody recruited, they should go through what is written in this particular safety manual. They have mentioned about hours also. They mentioned hours for each topic. They very painfully it is written. We should make it like mandatory, sir. Mandatory, at least to some extent.
There is a comment from one of the participants as a question. What are the qualification and experience required for electrical safety officer in distribution or transmission? Actually, I would like to add a small comment here. Recently, I was reading in a news. A person who join as a peon in the office of a distribution company, when he retires, he can become a junior engineer. So that
Yes.
means one of the distribution company made a rule in such a way that a person who is non-qualified join as a non-qualified person, while retiring he becomes a junior engineer. Mr. Amritlal knows where this is happening. This was very, so we are talking about a situation where people are not even qualified. So how can the answer to Mr. Bera is, Mr. Bera, the situation is really not good to follow.
One point I would like to add, since we have too many problems, we actually have to look into the solutions now, because if we go on saying the problems, it will be endless. So as a citizen of India, I would like, I think NFE have across the India, we have members. So each state, we can put up one RTI asking for how many safety engineers and designated person each of these Discoms have. So if we get that, we will understand actually whether they are employing somebody or it is just on paper or even not in paper. Even they will not understand the question also sometimes. So that is a good point where we can put up a case against these Discoms. Unless we have the data, we cannot go to the court and fight. So this may be an idea which I thought would be good to share.
Yes,
one more question we can also add, as per this regulation number 8, that tells about the qualifying criteria for the engineers and other stuff also. So whether whoever have been employed as engineer, whether he is having that qualification or not, that question also can be asked. Regulation number 8.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Actually, we have a lot of questions in our question box or the Q&A, but most of the questions are like statements which has come. So there is not much questions actually, but as to make a conclusion, all of us know very well that the Discoms are at the moment taking the rules on their hand and they take as whatever they wanted to do. So the discussing about what is going on will not help us, whereas we have to think of solutions, as Mr. Amritlal told. We have to find out the ways and methods to improve the system. One of the suggestions from Mr. Amritlal is to NFE can take up this job and train these people or conduct classes, make documents so that they are able to handle the work. So in this case, I have a question to Apav sir. Apav sir,
Yes.
will it be a good job to NFE if NFE take up this responsibility of making these people empower with proper technical papers? Then the second question, the first question is, can NFE take up this job? Question number 2 is, in this particular case, there are several training institutes of the Discom as well as by the central government. What are these institutes doing? So, Apav sir, any light on that?
Yes, sir. Yes. Actually, what we can say is every engineer of distribution, especially distribution, has to be given training, as Mr. Murugesan suggested. But the way in which it has to be done is a major issue. They are having so many training institutes. I myself have conducted so many training program for the TANGETCO. They have, but that is limited to very few places. That is not being observed continuously to cater the entire people. So actually, what the regulation provides is the supplier installation should also be inspected under Regulation 32. Periodicity should also be maintained. These are the things that makes them accountable to us if they are a consumer. They are the owner. So they should be sensitized how it can be done. It can be done, in my opinion. NFE can be a central agency to coordinate with various training centers across the state of Discom. Then we have to empower the trainers, training of trainers. They will in turn do their own training activities to the engineers within their setup. So NFE can do in a major way, but not to the final root level. Of course, we can do it for some sample places, not for the entire country, unless with the cooperation of several institutes. There is PSTA, there are Discom engineers, there are generating plants. So many institutions are there in our country. We have to coordinate and we have to give the knowledge partner. We have to act as a knowledge partner to infuse training to all the people.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Actually, I was going through a video by a training video of one of the public sector undertaking, the training video of their engineers. But to my surprise, they were still talking about how to make earth pit 1 ohm. Nobody is talking about, they started with the regulation, but still finally half of the day they were talking about how to put chemicals into or plate into the soil. They are not talking the actual safety measures. So this situation should change, and NFE can take a major role, or we can act as a knowledge center to make the system set right. So then in that case, one of the agenda, for example, we are trying to make chapters across India. The first chapter we will be making in Maharashtra or in Mumbai. So every state will have an NFE chapter, and the chapters can take up these jobs. Hopefully, I think it is possible. Sali ji, any comments on this particular subject? Whether
Yes.
NFE
Of course, there is very much need to educate the people, because there is a lot of shortage of, even if some person wants his electrical installation to be tested by anybody, he's not getting the proper technically qualified person. So this is a big gap again. So if NFE can do something in this regard, that will be welcomed by the general public.
Yes, thank you. So, Murugesan sir, any comments?
Yes, sir. As I mentioned that, no, sir, the training is totally missing. So, especially on safety aspect, this is a given last priority. I have not seen anything conducted like that. So we need to do, as I mentioned, that NFE can, sir, as a chapter wise, we can do that. And we should, maybe, sir, we should start writing to, the energy secretary. There's every state, the energy secretaries are there. So we need to maybe that one letter stating that there is a mandate by CEA and these things like that. We need to appoint people. We need to follow this. We need to give training to all the inducted engineers or the periodic engineers, like maybe one letter to all the state utilities, state energy secretaries, and followed by the Discoms MD's own letter. It goes everywhere stating that what is the responsibility, because the many Discoms are managed by IAS officers. They come and go. So once they spend time, then they get the grip of the subject. By the time they get transferred. So it is the mandate that we sensitize. Electrical engineers, they know that, but Discoms MD or transmission system MDs, they are not aware of it. Provisions like that. So one letter, maybe about 100 letters or 200 letters to all the CEOs stating this is what the responsibility of appointing officers and reducing. Everybody is concerned about the number of deaths. Even the regulatory commission is aware of it, but it is handicapped. So the regulatory commission also has a role in that. So one letter to everybody said, these are all the provision, then they need to do that, like that one letter. Maybe it is a burden on you. It will be a great burden on you.
Sure, we will take up. Anyway, our now all of us, our life is now 90% dedicated to this work. So we will definitely do it. Actually, one point which all of us should keep, including the participants, should keep in mind is, very soon the situation of low voltage electricity distribution will change from consumer to prosumer. Rooftop solar PV will be very soon will be common. EV charging will be common. Once when this new systems comes into picture, if the low voltage distribution is in this pathetic way, the amount of accidents will be increased multifold. We have to be very careful if we look at least the situation which is after 10 years. After 10 years, I'm 100% sure that the situation will be changed, and we have to look at how can we improve after 5 years or 10 years, and we should start our process. As you said, we will write to we will seek your help to draft the letters. We can write to all the Discoms and the responsible people, and we can start training in association with various organizations. Of course, state-wise, sometimes we need the support of some universities or colleges as well. We will start up this risky job. I think we have started almost 11 o'clock, and now it's about 12:30. If any of the participants wanted to have a serious question, probably we can take up 1 or 2 questions. I hope Mr. Amritilal, you were saying something.
Yeah. I just want to add one point. Now in the new regulation, except 31, regulation 31, there is no stipulations how the electrical contractor should behave. Like what is his duties? Whether he is going to test the installation and offer it to the customer. There is no clarity on that. I think it has to be again detailed in regulatory commission guidelines or government. The state government has to take up that matter.
Yes.
So the
Correct.
main part of the installation lies inside the buildings and even industrial installations. It is in the hands of electrical contractors. And if you don't have a proper contracting community, that is a big headache again.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Well, now the host, Ms. Lakshmi, there are a few people, those who have raised the hand. Either you can make me as a co-host, or you can.
We can ask them to. I will allow them. There are a few raised hand. So my request is to people who raise the hand, be quick in your question, and the question should be related to the today's subject. May I ask Mr. Sanjeev Saxena? I'm allowing you to talk to the moderator. Please unmute, and you may proceed and talk. Sanjeev Saxena, if you're there, please go ahead.
Mr. Dominic, probably you can unmute a few more.
Yeah, I'm there.
Yes.
Okay, please.
Mr. Saxena, please go ahead.
No question right now.
Oh,
okay. Gopal Singh, I am allowing to talk to you. Talk to the moderator. Gopal Singh, Mr. Mukesh.
Mr. Mukesh Sharma.
Anil Kumar, anybody else?
Yeah, this is Sunil Biswal. Can I speak?
Yes, go ahead.
In Odisha, I have seen many electrical accidents of very serious nature happen, and then some investigation is done by the electrical inspectorate, but the results are never made public. I believe NFE can take a lead role in asking the ELBO, or I mean the electrical inspector of each state, to make the findings public, because that would have enough educative value for others. Or we can also compile a list of such findings by the electrical inspectorates of each state regarding nature of electrical accidents and what was the reason behind it. That is all I just wanted to suggest.
Thank you, Mr. Sunil Kumar Biswal. Very good, information to us. It's a very good suggestion. Thank you very much. We have Mr. Prafulla Wankde. Mr. Prafulla.
Sir, I wanted to ask whether consumers are made mandatory to provide RCCB in their installation. Are we thinking of such a provision in the NFE
chat box?
safety requirement?
In the chat box, we shared a document. It was a letter by Sri Khoja sir, the retired Chief Electrical Inspector from Gujarat. So now, as per the regulation number 44, the 30 milliampere RCD has been made mandatory for all consumer premises, and it has to be provided by the owner of the building. Earlier, it was by the supplier. Now, the usage of electricity has to have this particular provision. That means the consumer have to provide a 30 milliampere RCD. There is a document, you can refer to that. Probably Lakshmi can share it again. So anybody else wanted to?
Mishra, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Myself, Jitendra Kumar Rathod. I am from Maharashtra. Very nice presentation. I want to add something that actually in Maharashtra, I belong to Discom, and in Discom, as per CA regulation, section 5, what you told, in Mahavitran, we have already implemented and nominated the safety officers. There are the safety officers, they are working and they have do the job and responsibility as assigned in the CA. And since from 2010, when the CA was updated and amended day by day, so regularly in Maharashtra, we are taking training also. Even in Maharashtra, for making awareness of this campaign, we are taking the public seminar also. In that, we have shown some regulations previously, like the 1661, how much they have to construct their building, what are the separate distance like that. And there are special dedicated safety management team in the Discom. For the Maharashtra, there are the 4 teams in Maharashtra. They are doing the investigation of the accident, some audit as per the CA regulations, and how to avoid and what are the how to avoid the reoccurrence of such situation. On that, we guide the local engineers as well as the public also. And one point I have to tell you that actually what kind of a punishment and what the drastic action to take against the such scenario. In Maharashtra, we have developed some departmental circular. In that, we have given the responsibility as well as there is the provision of punishment if we observe the violations of the CA regulations. So this is a very nice campaign. I like first time I have joined. As I am the member, I am the head of the safety management team. I wish to share my experiences. What near about 300 accidents we have investigated. But actually, we have someone lagging how to avoid the accident in the consumer premises. Because the accident, those are occurring in consumer premises, there can be some kind, we can say the unknown to the public and the person or the contractor who is doing that electric wiring or looking after their installation, he is not guiding well, or the some instruction from the particular electrical department or supplier failed to give the proper instruction to the consumer. So what kind of action or what we have to do in favor of that kind of consumer, and especially for the rural sector. In rural sector, this is totally unknown. So how we can spread, that is also the major issue. And if you will help me, we can also do the same thing in order to avoid the accident. So this is my humble request. You tell me, we can also join your campaign. I like it. And thank you very much. Any suggestion you want, you can please share us.
Oh, sure. Thank you, Mr. Rathor, for implementing such nice improvements in your system. Thank you very much. Murugesan sir, you would like to answer any point on?
Sir, this is Mr. Dora. Hello, sir. This is Mr. Dora.
Yes, Mr. Prabhakar Dora.
Sir, I'm introducing myself. I'm from Orissa. I'm member advisor, Orissa Electricity Regulatory.
Yes, please. Your voice is getting disconnected. Please go ahead.
Last year, sir, audible, sir?
Yeah. Now it's
Go ahead. Yeah.
Sir, in this regard, last year I have given a SOP to the Chief Electrical Inspector of Odisha, citing that the operation of line network by the distribution company are made by taking line clearance by the respective linemen, those who are not qualified to take the line clearance. The qualification is required by the state government's notification is he must be a supervisor competency certificate holder. The designated engineer, those who are appointed to supply the power supply to the area, are also not having the supervisor competency certificates. So, citing that, I have given a SOP, which can also I can share to you immediately now itself also, or today or day after tomorrow if mail is given. but the technical authority of the state, the highest technical authority of the state is remains silent. And without any protocol, without following the CO regulation, all the feeders are being handled by
Unqualified.
non-engineers, unqualified engineers, unqualified.
Yeah.
Therefore, the accidents are increasing.
Thanks
And
for
there are
thanks for the information. Actually, if we follow the rules and regulations properly,
Yes, sir. Yes,
majority
sir.
of these accidents are avoidable. The
yes,
number
we can, sir. Today's debate is very good debate, and actually I am happy that my friend Mr. Bishwal has informed me that you participate in that, because I have wrote so many letters to the government of Odisha that this is the particular thing. Who is the supply engineer? He has to take the responsibility of that feeder. If it is not complied CA regulation, then he has no right to transmit power supply on that feeder. Immediately he has to suspend it. If he has not suspended, then the electrical inspector of that respective area has to suspend that line. Then only the solution can be find out.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So
Then only this licensee can go for the maintaining the safety regulation.
Yes.
Let's go to Kapil Dangre also is wants
Thank you, sir.
Sir, myself Smruti Pradhan, sir. Sir,
Yes,
am I audible?
Yeah.
Sir, I am from Odisha and Discoms, sir. Sir, my question is, sir, this which type of system is best for distribution system? TNCS or TNC or TT?
If you are talking about low voltage, then the return system is TNCS in the regulation with the PME. If you follow it properly, then definitely the lot of accidents can be avoided. Now, if you wanted to make a TT, first is the neutral conductor has to be insulated, and it has to, if it is an overhead line, it has to run on insulators. So I don't know what kind of system you are following at the moment.
Sir, we are following mixed type of system, sir. Mixed, somewhere TT, somewhere TNCS. Another thing is, sir, in as per previous standard, it was written that every fifth pole of LT pole was earthed, and the neutral conductor was on CI knob, cast iron knob. But nowadays, with the use of AB cable, the system has been eliminated. All the AB cable has been on suspension clamp or shackle insulators. So how to ensure that the multiple neutral earthing?
Yeah, Mr. Pradhan, what is possible is at the moment, if we talk technical issues, then it takes a lot of time, because we have to sit and we have to have a long discussion to find out, or we have to in fact make a study on what kind of systems are followed in your distribution, and somebody has to make an improvement plan, and then we can debate, we can finalize it, and we can go ahead. These are possible. So as a first step, probably if someone from your distribution company can make a study and publish a report saying that in Orissa, this is how we do. 50% is TNC, 50% is TT, and then that would be the first part. Then we recommend probably you can take up this study and maybe publish a document as a document in any form. Probably NFE also can help you in publishing. Then that would be the first part. So,
Amarnath Mishra, can we go ahead if you want to speak? Kapil ji.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, I want to know one thing, sir. What to know? Whether in my 37 years of service, I have served for private sector as well as public sector. When I was working with private sector, electrical inspectors used to pay regular visits and record their observations and suggestions for rectification. But when I started working in public sector, I never found any electrical inspector or inspected people visiting any service station or any installation and recording their observations for rectification. Through this August forum, can we request all electrical engineers in the electrical inspectors in the country to pay regular visits to the substations and section offices and record their observations for rectification? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Your question probably, Apav sir, you can make a comment on this or an answer to this.
Yes. His question is, inspections are conducted in private and not in government. It varies from state to state. There is a review by the head of the department to assess from the electrical inspectors what are the inspection, what's the percentage of inspection conducted in government. It's existing in Tamil Nadu. I don't know whether it exists in other states. It's not the question. As per regulation, as per act, every installation should be got inspected at a periodicity of not exceeding 5 years. That's why electrical inspectors and CESs. When electrical inspectors are not sufficient, the regulatory framework has provided a CESs. So they should come and inspect in a judicial manner. If there is a workload, they should see at least 50% from private, 50% from public sector. Some methodology they have to adapt. It's not pick and choose.
Yeah, thank you. Dominic sir, you can.
I think we'll take Radhasamy. Sir.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I'm Radhasamy. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, if Mr. Kapil has been waiting.
Yes, sir. Kapil. I am Kapil. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Kapil.
Yes, I am Kapil Dangre from Nagpur. I am Assistant Electrical Inspector in Electrical Inspector Office, Nagpur. I have one question. I investigate near about 100 human fatal accident, and after investigation, I found that contractor people who are working on the field, they are not authorized. They are just like a 10 pass people or just like a labor. And after investigation from Electrical Inspector Office, we give him show cause notice to contractor or MSCDCL if anyone is guilty. Then after show cause notice and final abhipray, that we are seeing like that, you just pay for the compensation and that's all. But after that, this contractor and MSCDCL are doing same mistake for every accident. So what would be the next step after compensation? What we penalize for the MSCDCL or contractor? Yeah, that's the question.
Thank you, Mr. Kapil. I think now we are opening up another bigger area. Of course, what you have told is very, very serious. And now, as a part of cost cutting or reduced operational cost, the number of people are less in the Discom, and the subcontractors are allowed to work, and nobody knows who works and who is working and in what style. So, absolutely, the system is going to an uncontrolled way, which will further increase the amount of accidents. I think we have to take up this discussion to a larger circle, and we have to make some efforts to reduce the number of deaths. Probably Dominic sir to the next person.
Sir, may I speak, sir?
Hello.
Sir, what Mr. Kapil has pointed out is the biggest evil happening in electrical sector everywhere in India. That is what I have been consistently trying to highlight. The dilution of the clause of the Rule 31, where non-certified people, pseudo contractors, they are the biggest problem, as rightly pointed out by Mr. Kapil. It is also similar situation in Odisha. This practice alone should be curbed to drastically improve the safety scenario of electricity use in India.
Thank you, sir. The next question to Mr.
Radhasamy, please go ahead.
Yeah. Hello. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Hello. Yeah. Gopakumar, sir, I really thank you for an excellent panel discussion today. Actually, it's of great use for all technical and engineering field engineers on site, actually. We have our own incoming supply 66/11 kV
at Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and further sub-distribution to 440 volts in the departmental level. So my question is, these metering cubicle, we have a 66 kV metering cubicle at the entry point of our campus. So what I understand is that after the metering cubicle load side, any distribution system is lies with the responsibility of the consumer, sir, after the metering?
Well, I'll answer this question. See, the point of supply, previously it was defined in CA regulations. Now it has been removed from that. And because it is removed, it is given in the, it is gone in the scope of regulatory commissions. So regulatory commissions have defined the point of supply. So that is after metering, the first switch is a point of supply. Prior to that, every responsibility lies with the supply company. And after that, responsibility lies with the owner of that installation. So after metering cubicle, certainly it is your responsibility to maintain the installation safe.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So
yes, I think similar. I think most of the questions are similar. That unqualified people are attending this, maintaining the system. So I think, sir, do you want to continue with question answer, or how do you want to?
I think probably now you see the issues are known to everybody in the sense at the moment there is no control over the system. The rules and regulations are only in paper, just for us to read and make a debate, not to follow. But now we have to work some strategies, and we have to ensure that these are taken up to the user and the people should follow it. Otherwise, making rules and regulations are of no use. Finally, because of the non-follow-up of the rules and regulations, 15,000 average, 15,000 people are getting electrocuted every year. Thousands of animals are dying. Hundreds of buildings are catching fire, and we all of us know the amount of accidents happening in our system. The problems are people doesn't know the rules and regulation. Unqualified people are working. The Discoms are not following the regulations and not following a proper established system, and so on. So the problems are known today because of the panel discussion. We will take up further as suggested by Murugesan sir and by Apau sir. We will write to the Discom and we will initiate some steps to increase the quality of the installation by training people. Probably now it's almost 2 hours and we can make a conclusion and close, Mr. Dominic.
Yes, sir. India is the largest population, and almost 232,000 people die due to lack of safety. It could be a road safety, it could be a fire safety, it could be electrical safety. 232,000 people die. I don't know how much government are aware of this, and if you go probing, it is all because of ignorance, lack of knowledge. So NFE has taken a step to bring awareness on best practices, why qualified people only should attend. So it's a continuous journey for us to keep on talking about it, keep on approaching every consumer. Ultimately, the consumer need to know what is my right, what is my fundamental right. If I want to be in a building, what I should know. So our education system, our best practices as a consumer, what I should know, what is my right. So these are things that which we need to continuously, keep on preaching and practicing. So we have just taken scratches, just a scratch on the surface. There's a lot to do, lot more to do. So this panel discussion is, it's a eye opener for many. If you look at Orissa, if just Orissa there is. So if you cut all the state, there's so much of issues we have. So it's a great gathering today with all the expert panelists. For us also, it's a eye opener. We will continue with this kind of panel discussions and webinars as time goes. And I'm sure in Orissa, we are going to have National Electrical Code 2023 a seminar there. I would request all of my friends from Orissa to join us there. Mr. Gopakumar will be there with BIS team. So I would like to thank all the panelists once again, Sir Apau Sir, Hemant Sir, Amritlal Sir, Murugan Sir. So thanks for joining, and I would request all the members who are here to become a part of NFE. So my colleague Lakshmi has been sharing you the link to become a member. If you become a member, we have an active group. We can keep on exchanging ideas, take some suggestions. And we are growing one of the fastest growing society in India is NFE. So thank you so much. We look forward to see you. And our next seminar is in Pune on 4th August, Maharashtra. My friends who are in Maharashtra, please do join us and register. We are sharing the link again and we'll touch base. So this recording of this whole session will be available on mail. We will be sharing to you soon. You all have a great weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much. God bless you all.